Hi, my name's Professor Silver, and in tonight's class, we'll break down the ongoing story of Ash's Gengar, detailing all its battles, storylines, and character development. As explained in a flashback during the episode A Chilling Curse, Gengar originally belonged to a selfish trainer who believed him weak, totally unworthy of his time, and a blight upon his life. The trainer won no battle and caught no Pokemon with Gengar by his side, so he credited all his bad luck to the ghost and thought himself cursed by its presence. Due to the frustration he felt, the trainer abandoned poor Gengar outside a decrepit building. Like Damien with Charmander, he kept Gengar at bay by falsely promising he'd soon return. It initially took the trainer's lie at face value, anxiously awaited his return, and hoped for nothing more than their eventual reunion. As the days wore on and seasons passed, however, Gengar became increasingly frustrated with its lot in the afterlife. Upon realizing its trainer would never return, Gengar started lashing out at the world, developed a distrust of humanity, and became so bitter that the mere sight of humans drove it into a fury. As a result of this unruly behavior, every prospective buyer that tried to buy its old home was met with mean-spirited pranks, vicious attacks, and haunted happenings. Most buyers were terrified by Gengar's antics, but Professor Cerise thought the pranks were ample fun. Although he had no idea all the mayhem stemmed from Gengar, he was delighted at the prospect of living in a haunted house, purchased the building, and converted it into his laboratory. Once Gengar realized its pranks were wasted on Cerise, it receded into the depths of the lab, entered a self-imposed exile, and wallowed in its continued misery. It wasn't until it found new victims in Ren, Krissa, Go, and Ash during its canonical debut in Best Friend, Worst Nightmare that it finally emerged from its ghostly shell. Their happiness enraged Gengar to the point of attacking Ren's Magnemite and assaulting Ash's Pikachu. Although Pikachu repelled its advances with Iron Tail and Thunderbolt, Gengar's incredible display of strength during the brief battle made both Ash and Go desperate to catch it. Once Gengar thwarted their efforts at capture with Psychic, Ice Punch, and Shadow Ball, it started terrorizing their friend Chloe and her Yamper because the sight of their affection towards each other filled it with both rage and jealousy. Chloe and Yamper nearly met their demise at the hands of Shadow Ball, but Pikachu came to their rescue and gave Yamper the time he needed to recover his energy, gather his strength, and send Gengar flying with Spark. After getting blasted off, Gengar went back to the lab at episode's end, started plotting its revenge and raid battle in the ruins, and made its triumphant return in A Chilling Curse. Gengar's comeback terrified Ren, spooked Krissa, and irritated Mimey. On Ash and Go's ends, they couldn't have been happier that they had a second chance to catch it. Because Gengar had grown wise to their tricks, it deflected all their advances and made a clean getaway by slipping into Ash's shadow. While there, it sapped Ash's life force, absorbed his warmth, and made him ill with the chills. Go suggested Gengar had cursed Ash, but Ash refused to believe it, likely because he knew Gengar wasn't inherently evil. Rather than cure himself with an exorcism, Ash tried to improve his predicament with some vigorous exercise. During his workout, he literally ran into Gengar's old trainer. Upon seeing the trainer, Gengar emerged from Ash's shadow, broke out into a rage, let loose a flurry of Shadow Balls, and tried its hardest to ensure the man looked as bad as it felt. Soon after Pikachu intercepted the blast and provided the trainer cover before any further harm could be done, Gengar ran away so that it could sulk and reflect on all that had transpired. Because Team Rocket thought Gengar's misery made it their kindred soul, they disrupted its peaceful contemplation and asked it to join their team. When Gengar refused their offer for villainy, James transformed into a Ghostbuster and trapped it in his Proton Pack. Fortunately for Gengar, it didn't stay caught long as Ash tracked its location and freed it with Pikachu. He had followed Gengar because he sympathized with its plight, wanted to cheer it up, and likely saw it as a spiritual successor to his Charizard, Infernape, and Pignite. Ash's heroism and hand of friendship led Gengar to fight by Pikachu's side when Team Rocket summoned 2 Dusclops from the Prize Master. During the scuffle, Gengar defrosted Pikachu with Shadow Ball, dodged Fire Punch, countered Nightshade, and beat its opponents using a combination of Ice Punch and Shadow Ball. Right as Ash and Gengar were about to celebrate their very first victory together, Ash collapsed from exhaustion, likely because the day's events had left him utterly spent. Showing an entirely new side to itself, Gengar worried for Ash's safety, cradled him within its arms, and made sure he had an apple to replenish his energy as soon as he awoke. Not only did Gengar keep the doctor away, but it also offered Ash a Pokeball, signifying its readiness to put aside its traumatic past and willingness to start life anew with a trainer who truly loved it. The gesture absolutely delighted Ash, so he caught Gengar without a second of hesitation. By finally adding a ghost to his arsenal, Ash upended over 20 years of precedent. After capture, Gengar revealed that while Ash Ash had won its heart, its penchant for calamity and love for pranks would remain a major part of its personality. To exemplify its dark humor, Gengar buried Ash with apples, scared Chloe's Eevee and Go's Grookey on their messenger adventure, and spread terror and memories of a warming kindness. While Gengar's desire for joyous mayhem is no secret, it typically only likes when the chaos is on its own terms. It grew frustrated when Eevee mocked its tongue, blew up at Ash when he suggested it stole food from Go's Pokemon in Panic in the Park, and threatened Ren when he suggested it kidnapped Grookey in When a House is Not a Home. Despite Gengar's deviousness, it became significantly more sociable upon joining Ash. It befriended Ash's Alolan crew and that new old gang of mine, made nice with Go's Pokemon in Gotta Catch a What, bonded with Ash's Journey team in Octo Gridlock at the gym, and developed a friendship with Ash that was never reciprocated by its original trainer. As thanks for Ash's kindness, Gengar did whatever it could to help Ash rise through the ranks of the World Coronation series and inch ever closer towards his goal of beating Leon. During Ash's very first Coronation battle in Destination Coronation, for example, it thrilled Gengar to assist him against Visquez's Raichu. Not only did the battle offer an opportunity to prove its strength, but also to show its worth. Gengar's ghostly abilities, unpredictable nature, and insane speed made it Raichu's perfect foil. In the battle, Gengar dodged Thunderbolt, landed Nightshade, phased through Raichu's tail, fired off Ice Punch, intercepted Volt Tackle, turned Raichu into a ragdoll, and slammed him into submission. It pleased Gengar so much to beat Raichu that Ash used it against Visquez's Electrode. Proving more than a match for Gengar, Electrode activated Magnet Rise, bounced around to build momentum, overwhelmed its senses, and did major damage with a bevy of hits. Because of Electrode's overwhelming speed, Gengar didn't have time to turn itself intangible, did almost no damage with Psychic, failed to land Nightshade, and fell to Discharge. Shortly after Pikachu finished off Electrode, Ash entered the Coalossal Battle Festival in a festival reunion, and used Gengar opposite Chaleur Gym Leader Corinna's Mienshao. Making quick work of Gengar, Mienshao pummeled it with Acrobatics, overpowered Psychic with U-Turn, and swapped itself for Lucario, who easily won with Bone Rush. Although Gengar suffered a humiliating loss, the episodes Solitary and Menacing and Trials of a Budding Master both revealed it played a huge role in many of Ash's other Coronation battles. None of those specific battles were shown on screen, but we can assume Gengar earned many victories. In Sword and Shield: The Darkest Day, Gengar reaffirmed its on-screen status as a world-class battler by holding its own against the Gigantamaxed Coalossal. Not only did it clobber the giant beast with Shadow Ball, but it also saved scores of humans, showing that the ill will it once felt towards humanity was beginning to thaw thanks to Ash's fiery influence as a trainer. Gengar's third on-screen battle in the World Coronation series took place soon after Ash entered the Ultra class and got matched with Sunyshore Gym Leader Volkner. Ash's Lucario struggled immensely against Luxray at the match's start, so he swapped it for Gengar, hoping its tricky ways would wreak havoc on Volkner's carefully calculated strategies. Because Gengar dodged Snarl, threw Luxray for a loop with Psychic, did massive damage with Nightshade, and overwhelmed the Lion with its invisible tricks, Volkner exchanged it for Fan-Rotom. In spite of Gengar blocking Nightshade and letting loose Ice Punch, Fan-Rotom dodged the assault, caused paralysis with Thunder Wave, and produced a devastating knockout with Hex. Even though Gengar fainted without beating any of Volkner's Pokemon, the damage it did against Luxray and Fan-Rotom proved instrumental in their eventual downfall to Lucario. Considering that Ash's victory over Volkner advanced him to rank 64 in the World Coronation series, and that he'll likely soon be joining the Masters 8, I'm very hopeful Gengar will star in many more battles before the series concludes. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel, as I'll be providing updates to Gengar's story in future classes. While we await Gengar's return, let's get to the battle record so far as of episode 84 of Pokemon Journeys. Gengar defeated the Prize Masters Dusclops and Visquez's Raichu. It lost to Visquez's Electrode, Corinna's Lucario, and Volkner's Fan-Rotom. Over the course of the series, Gengar used Shadow Ball, Ice Punch, Psychic, and Nightshade. Much like Ash's capture of Dragonite, I never would have dreamed he would one day capture a Gengar. Seeing a powerful ghost join his ranks is something I've wanted since he first met Haunter. Gengar has yet to star in any meaningful episodes or fight as Ash's ace since its capture, but I'm extremely optimistic that the opportunity to prove its strength will soon be upon us. It's only a matter of time before Gengar Gigantamaxes, so I would be highly surprised if the writers didn't use the Galarian phenomenon to show the world why Gengar's original trainer was a fool to release it. Not only will the Gigantamax form likely put Gengar in a league of its own among Ash's many Pokemon, but it will also allow Gengar to wreak havoc and pull pranks on a scale it previously never thought possible. And with that, class is adjourned. I'd like to extend a special thanks to the channel's patrons. Their support makes the continued growth of the channel all the more possible. If you'd like to watch videos early and have your name appear on screen, check out all the perks I offer on Patreon by clicking the link in the description. For additional extra credit, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're never late. Until next time, catch you later.